At Arthur Treachers, please don't take our sign too literally. Our specialty isn't just delicious tasting fish.
You could. It's Kenny Rogers Roaster.
During the advent of shopping malls in the 1950s, many restaurant businesses used this opportunity to compete for customers. Those delightful taste bud teasers became loved and cherished by families for years, while some suddenly closed down. Here are 20 mall restaurants that have disappeared. But hit that subscribe button before we begin. The scent of hot Sam pretzels can make your mouth water instantly. Many shoppers look forward to tasting that soft golden brown treat outside of their schedules. Hot Sam began in the mid-1960s just outside of Detroit, Michigan. They were known for their hot Bavarian pretzels to families and individuals who wanted a conducive space to hang out. With 175 locations and millions of customers, the Pretzel Haven was still at its peak when it was sold to Mrs. Fields Cookies. In 2005, the last location was rebranded to Pretzel Time. If you're a fan of movies, you may have noticed the appearance of Hot Sam's in the Netflix series Stranger Things as a depiction of the mid-80s mall setting.
See's, famous old-time candies.
While candies and chocolate are still a major need because of ties to Christmas giftings and holiday seasons, See's Candies, one of the well-known store brands known for its chocolatey delights and a variety of handmade treats, is no longer in the list of places to buy these edible treats. It operated up to 200 or more locations and had been in operation for more than 102 years. The candy shop was famous for generous free samples that customers would stand in line to get before they decided on what flavors to choose. See's Candies has been around since 1921 and has been the go-to for people looking to purchase assorted candy items for occasions. With 100 or more varieties, See's flavors included toffee, chocolate, walnut fudge, peanut brittle, and a ton of other fantastic recipes. And there are many speculations for the closure of the shop, which includes safety issues in the pandemic and financial problems. But either way, the chances of stumbling upon a See's Candies branch are very slim.
Here, Dad, you deserve the best.
It's from Hickory Farms.
Hickory Farms used to be one of the largest specialty food retailers in the U.S. and had a chain of stores in malls and all over the place. The food outlet dates back to the late 1940s and 50s. Many as 1.5 million pounds of special beef sticks, over 250 temporary booths. The company specialized in seafood, nuts, cheeses, sausages, specialty meats, and more. And although it was popular in the 70s, it was acquired by General Host Corporation in the 80s, and after 2 decades of growth, they took 2 major annual losses. This would lead to changing the management, and this time a management-led interest group. Hickory Farms remained privately held until the mid-1990s, when it simply disappeared completely. The original cookie company provided a taste of the 70s which many remember fondly for their unique flavor and an assortment of delicious edibles like brownies, cookies, and other treats. The scent of fresh oven-baked treats would draw mall-goers into the cozy store, and many look forward to a detour at the cookie spot anytime they visited. The original cookie company was beloved during its heyday in the 80s and 90s until other competitive choices, like the Great American Cookies, Mrs. Fields, and others began to mop up customers. The company struggled with economic challenges until it was acquired by another business and rebranded, slowly disappearing from malls.
Try our downright kickin' barbecue chicken today.
Kenny Rogers Roasters. There's goodness here.
One of the most competitive roasted chicken fast food places in the 90s was Kenny Rogers Roasters. The juggernaut grew to at least 350 locations and was owned by legendary country music star Kenny Rogers. Perhaps this also added to its initial success, as the chicken restaurant was largely successful in its first year of opening. Customers would turn up in droves for wood-fired rotisserie chicken and delicious corn muffins. The roaster's success was short-lived as it found itself in competition with other large brands like KFC and Boston Market. In March of 1998, they filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy being bought by Nathan's Famous Incorporated, and many of the locations were shut down. Caramel corn began operation in the 1920s, and the first retail store was opened in Wyoming, where it amassed a ton of fans with its unique candy-coated popcorn. It was no surprise it became a huge success when branches opened in shopping malls in the 1980s. It was well recognized as a brand across the U.S., with over 200 branches nationwide. Fast forward to 1986 and Dairy Queen had purchased caramel corn, adding it to other secondary brands under its umbrella like Orange Julius. By 1987, most locations that co-branded Dairy Queen and the others were rebranded under the single name of the Dairy Queen Treat Center. With the huge decline in popularity of shopping malls and the expiration of leases belonging to caramel corn, the parent brand was unable to give it funding. By the year 2019, only 6 locations remained, although the final had failed to make sales and closed down as well. Dairy Queen retains the name and the patent.
Deal. All 3 varieties, light or premium fruit smoothies and Julius Original.
Orange Julius was one of the best places to quench your thirst with a frothy orange beverage when shopping at the mall. This fruit juice company debuted in 1926 in California, when shopping at the mall was still relatively new. The company began by serving a blend of orange juice in ice mixed with sugar, and sales were as low as $20 per day. That was until 1929, when a brand new formula made the juice creamy and frothier. This new look and taste gave it early success, while bringing in tons of patronage at $100 and more. The business grew to selling edibles to go with the juice like burgers, and by the 60s, the spot had proliferated up to 400 or more locations, including franchises. The company was then sold to International Industries, Inc., which led to an expansion, making Orange Julius more popular than ever. It was also recognized as the official drink at the 1964 New York World Fair. The company changed ownership and then led to further growth, and at one point it boasted 745 franchises in different countries and places and rebranded to Orange Julius International. It then merged with Dairy Queen in 1987, becoming a subsidiary under the new owner Warren Buffett. However, in 2018, branches across the country and in malls had disappeared, and somehow Orange Julius was only accessible under a Dairy Queen location. This was a strategy to offer more in every branch, so that next time you're looking for an Orange Julius, you might just find one inside of a Dairy Queen.
It's time for another Piccadilly People Profile.
Piccadilly Restaurants is a chain of cafeterias that provided simple dining experiences in southeastern parts of the United States. This chain of traditional restaurants also operates as Piccadilly Emergency Services, known for providing quick meals in disaster and emergency areas and settings. Besides the family-friendly dining spots and meals to go, they offer meals to hospitals, schools, and government organizations. The first location opened in the early 1930s in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, and then expanded on after that. After they purchased Morrisons Cafe, they increased branches to 270 locations nationwide. However, in 2003, the company filed for bankruptcy and was bought out. In 2012, it once again filed bankruptcy and was acquired by a holdings company. The expansion continued with different owners and remains relevant today with 29 locations nationwide. Houlihan's, formerly known as Houlihan's Old Place, is a casual restaurant and bar with chains of franchises across the country. The eatery first launched on the 1st of April 1972 in Kansas and now has 35 branches in 15 states. It's owned by Fertitta Entertainment, a company that invested heavily in acquiring chain restaurants like Devon Seafood and Bristol Seafood Grill. They made early success with the name and quickly expanded, and ever since, the eateries had numerous successes and failures, expanding to 92 restaurant branches in 2007 and then closing down due to the shifting labor market, expensive third-party delivery, and unfavorable leases. On the 14th of November 2019, the parent company filed for bankruptcy, marking the ending of the restaurant as other affiliated companies slowly moved away from the brand.
At Arthur Treachers, please don't take our sign too literally. Our specialty isn't just delicious tasting fish.
Remember the delicious fish and chips from Arthur Treachers? This classic once boasted a wide chain of locations in the United States. The menu was focused on a British specialty, which was fried fish with chips on the side, a recipe that was acquired from Mallins of London. The restaurant was a welcoming place where friends and families could sit for a bite or grab one to go. Its unique flavor and secret formula kept customers satisfied and coming back for more. One interesting fact was that Arthur Treacher was a real person, an English actor who was popular in the Shirley Temple movies where he portrayed the butler Jeeves. He became the spokesperson and the face of the brand, and although he wasn't the actual owner of the chain, at the peak of success, the restaurant had up to 826 locations in the U.S. The downfall of the eatery began in 1970 when new and old branches switched up their prices to stay competitive in a time where fast food chains were becoming popular. This led to the company filing for bankruptcy in the late 70s, and today there are only a handful of the locations left in the country.
8 clicks. Hey, what you got? Oh man, it's Roy Rogers' Big Chicken Club.
Roy Rogers restaurants have always been a staple in the world of fast food, remembered for serving up tasty chicken and roast beef sandwiches, all washed down with a chilling serving of Coca-Cola. The eatery bore the same name as the famous actor and singer, who had no problem using his fame to advertise food, though he wasn't the owner of the brand. The eatery was particularly popular in the Northeast and Mid-Atlantic. The franchise originated as a rebranding of Roby's House of Beef restaurant chain, was acquired by Marriott Corporation. At its peak, Roy Rogers had over 600 locations, making tons of money from franchises, all serving up delicious hamburgers, fried chicken, fries, and more. Roy Rogers was sold again in 1990, and later to the parent company of the popular chain Hardee's. Roy Rogers' sales continued to decline, leading to the conversion of most of its branches, turning into Hardee's. And between 1994 and 96, Hardee's sold off the remainder of the Roy Rogers locations to other brands like Wendy's, McDonald's, and Boston Market. Morrisons restaurants were a shopping mall favorite, a chain of cafeteria-style eateries located in the southeastern part of the U.S. It operated in 13 states with 151 locations and was a symbol of exceptional Southern cooking. Founded in 1920 as a single cafeteria by J.A. Morrison, who developed the unique dining concept. Though the cafeteria was a huge success, it was found wanting due to racial segregation allegations during the Civil Rights Movement. Protests that were led by activists in Nashville, Tennessee exposed racial and discriminatory practices that contributed to the downfall of the company. Morrisons faced increasing competitions in the fast food industry as other newer establishments came with offers and dining experiences, making it less competitive. The challenge of declining customers weighed heavily on the cost of maintaining large operations, and Morrisons was acquired in 1990 by a corporate juggernaut that owned other chains like Ruby Tuesday. Morrisons restaurant was then later sold again in 98, and some branches had to close because of low sales. Gloria Jean's Coffee began in 1979 as an Australian-based shop that found its way to Chicago, Illinois, and became popular in the 90s and 2000s. It was founded by Gloria Jean Kvetko, and what began as a small coffee and gift shop grew into a large brand that served flavored coffee and beans in a serene and comfortable environment. The brand grew into an international success, becoming a leading coffee chain, competing with Starbucks and other brands. The brand, though successful in various parts of the U.S., was also met with challenges that greatly fluctuated until it was acquired in 2014 by Retail Food Group. However, the new parent companies were unable to make a difference, and the number of Gloria Jean's Coffee locations in the U.S. would slowly diminish. The coffee outlet thrives in other places of the world like the Middle East, Australia, Asia, and more.
Big one. See this? This is a Subway stuff. This is a Blimpy Best.
Blimpy is a fast food chain in the United States synonymous with submarine sandwiches. The restaurant was founded May 16th of 1964, the same year that Muhammad Ali won the heavyweight championship of the world. It began with 3 friends from Hoboken, New Jersey, who conceived a delicious idea that then became a reality. Those 3 friends named their restaurant Blimpy, and they aggressively moved for expansion at the earliest success. In 1976, the company split into 2 as one of the owners wanted them to be based in the East Coast, while another wanted to go south. The founders decided to reform the company into 2 brands, remaining under one same trademark. Blimpy's rise was rapid in the 70s and 80s as they sold shares and sought public investment, and things went south when they began to experience an identity crisis. They gave away business formulas and trade secrets, and often sold things like pizza and Chinese food, and there was a structural collapse. Blimpy was a major stakeholder in the sandwich market, competing with the likes of Quiznos and Subway, but over the years, changes in ownership and management took its toll. In 2006, Blimpy was bought by Kahala Brands, the parent company of several franchises like Planet Smoothie and Cold Stone Creamery. Under Kahala, they tried to rebrand the menu and other aspects to make them more competitive in the new era. This was only partially successful. With way fewer locations today, Blimpy may only be found in certain areas of the eastern United States. Very few eateries make it as an all-you-can-eat marketplace, and Furr's Cafeteria is one that won the hearts of food lovers, while at the same time it left too soon. The Cafeteria was made in 1946 in Hobbs, New Mexico, quickly becoming a popular family chain. The owner, Roy Furr, created a buffet-style experience which allowed people to pay a single fee and eat as much as they want. It was bought in 1980 by the Kmart Corporation and resold in 1988 to Michael Levinson's Limited National Partnership. After it took on a new name, it went through a series of corporate restructuring, from closing locations to downsizing staff. Finally, in April of 2021, the parent companies filed for bankruptcy, and all the locations of the eatery were permanently closed.
Tell them why Showbiz Pizza is so good!
Showbiz Pizza was always a competitive place that offered robust entertainment and dining experiences for customers. Besides its wide variety of mouth-watering pizza, the popular chain offered family entertainment in the form of arcade games and other side performances that competed with Chuck E. Cheese. Showbiz was the brainchild of Robert L. Brock in 1980, and the competition between Showbiz and Chuck E. Cheese intensified over the years with their entertainment gimmicks. In 1984, Chuck E. Cheese filed for bankruptcy and was acquired by the Brock Hotel Corporation, the parent company of Showbiz Pizza. This merger led to the creation of a new company called Showbiz Pizza Time Incorporated. They began to unify the former competitors and rebranding all the Showbiz locations as Chuck E. Cheese. Memories of Showbiz Pizza still live on in the heart of every Chuck E. Cheese location.
Right in between, you always have a party at Farrows.
Pharrell's Ice Cream Parlor was a cozy shack that served a delightful variety of flavored ice cream and sandwiches. The chain began in 1963 in Portland, Oregon, and was named after Bob Pharrell, one of the founders of the restaurant. Each location had its own unique theme that differentiated them from other places. The colorful atmosphere, charming staff, and piano music were all gimmicks to improve the experience. The Ice Cream Parlor grew to 175 locations in 1975, with a number of them planted in shopping malls. The Marriott Corporation purchased Pharrell's in 1972, and by the 80s, sales had dropped significantly. The Ice Cream Parlor was sold again to other private investors, and most of the locations had disappeared by 1990. The last location in Portland, Oregon shut down in 2001, and the parent company made an attempt at resurrecting the chain in 2008 by making the originator an advisor on the board. But that didn't change as the business struggled with ever-growing competition. Bob Farrell passed away in 2015, taking the dreams of the brand with him as the business once more silently disappeared. Harvest House was another exceptionally popular deluxe cafeteria in Woolworth stores and various shopping malls, offering meal specials at just over $1 while providing convenience and taste to customers. The spacious and pristine cafeterias in malls provided a unique and classy experience, and by the 1990s, soaring numbers of competitive food courts would lead to the decline of Harvest House, and both Woolworth and Harvest House were one of the pioneers of shopping mall restaurants and remain a nostalgic memory to many.
Looking for a great lunch at a great price? Well, York has lots of them.
At York Steakhouse, we serve the best in...
York Steakhouse was opened in 1966 in Columbus, Ohio, and the cafeteria was designed in an order with cold items and hot items at opposite ends of the place and the cashier stand in between. It featured a calm atmosphere with dim lighting and chandeliers, a cafeteria-style place with all the typical ordering styles where customers moved from one point to the other with a tray until they filled their plates with their meal of choice. Known for its affordable steak, customers could order at the counter and pick it up when it was ready. The menu included steak, seafood, chicken, and salad. It charged extra for butter and sour cream. However, tips were not accepted during service. It became a subsidiary of General Mills, a parent company to chains like Olive Garden and Red Lobster, and at the peak of its success, it had over 200 locations across the United States. In the 1980s, it began to decline in sales, and that's when they decided to focus on investments in other businesses, leading to the closure by the early 90s.
Now at the Magic Pan, prime rib.
If you're familiar with the delicious crepes of the 80s, then you know there was no better place to get the best than at Magic Pan. Founded by Hungarian immigrants, the two friends began the restaurant in 1965 and quickly made a name for themselves in the industry, serving up the most unique offerings of sweet and savory crepes, made from special spinning techniques. It was acquired by Quaker Oats in the 70s, which enabled expansion of Magic Pan to numerous locations, especially to shopping malls. By the 80s, the novelty of crepes had worn off and sales declined drastically. Operations began to be too expensive and led to the decision to shut Magic Pan down. The Crepe Kings remain a fond memory for those who have had the opportunity and pleasure to dine with them during their peak years. Which of these mall restaurants brings back warm memories? Let me know in the comments below and be sure to subscribe and turn on your notifications. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.